There was already an idea of de Gaulle in the beginning of the 1960s about the idea of federalism, which was embedded in the Fouché plan. They mentioned that France would have too much of a national influence within the European Union. But the person who can tell us even more and more interesting is Dr. Henri Malosse, the honorary president of VOCO Europe, and also the former president of the European Union's European Social and Economic Commission. So I'd like to ask him to come to the floor and give his presentation.
Thank you very much, and hello everybody. Hello to friends in Budapest and Warsaw and other places. Yes, I just noticed that you mentioned France and General de Gaulle and the Fouché plan. I would just like to congratulate the disappear of Dr. Laurent for his excellent paper, very well documented. And in fact, you could have these days the illusion that France could have changed its position toward the European Union because our new and young president takes sometimes very I would say, federalist position. But in fact, my belief is that this is due to his lack of experience and lack of real knowledge about what the European Union is today, because it's not the global sentiment among the French population. And of course, we all want Europe. We all feel all Europeans, and we are all very proud of what was achieved. But as Dr. Laurent explained, we were very proud of what the European Union achieved in the 50s, 60s, 70s. And then suddenly the European Union has changed. It became, as I was said, ultra-liberal, bureaucratic body with some authoritarian, centralized tendency, which are totally, I would say, in contradiction with the goals and the aim of founder fathers. You present me as actual and honorary chairman of the VOCAL Europe, which is European think tank. And I was a member of the European institution for long years. I've been in Brussels for almost 40 years, so I have long experience. And I can really say that there has been a radical change, end of the 80s, mid of the 90s, difficult to judge exactly when the European Union has moved to the European community, and I like very much this concept of community. Community is a Christian concept, in fact. And when we move from community to union, we have lost, I think, the values and the spirit. And if you see the situation of today, you can see that the European Union has lost confidence among the citizens, not just in Poland and Hungary, but I would say, fortunately, also in our countries. For example, in my country, in France, globally, 70%, 75%, if you look at the Eurobarometer polls, of the population still believe in Europe, but just less than 20% trust the actual European Union and its institutions. So this is due to the bureaucratization, this is due to the centralization, and this is due also to a lack of democracy. And I can give you some concrete example. I've been president of the European institution, not the biggest one, but institution with 140 million euros budget a year, with 750 staff members. And I can say that it's impossible in the actual situation to reform the European Union as it is. I try in my modest institution, my modest function to install a wind of change in this European Economic and Social Committee to make it more active, more visible, more influence in the name of a civil society, in the name of you, in the name of the citizen, to change the European Union to be more human, more close to the citizens, more close to the real problems. But the administration is there, and the administration will decide everything. And you, even as president, member of parliament, as politician, you have experience, and so with commissioners, you are just for a short time. Administration is there forever. And this bureaucratization of the European Union makes the things very, very complicated. Today, we have a feeling that the European Union is divided. It's divided, not a feeling, it's a reality. It's divided in, I would say, four blocks of countries. You have on one side, already one was left, is Great Britain, UK. UK was fond of Europe for free trade, step to the globalization, but in the same times, they could survive with the project of the founder fathers. We could survive with the community as it was until the 90s. But now with this super centralization, with an attempt to interfere in the daily life of the citizens, the UK citizens have decided to leave. And you saw how difficult it was for them to leave. All the obstacles were put by the European administration to make this divorce, this left of the European Union impossible. Seems that Brussels want to punish the British citizens because they wanted to leave. I think it's a real right, it should be the right of any nation. If you have a union of free nations, each nation should have a right at a certain stage to leave, because it's the decision of a citizen, if it's the decision of a citizens. We have today an opportunity, and I really congratulate the European Union Council of Civil Society, EuCET, congratulate you to tackle this issue of the future of Europe. We have this conference of the future of Europe in the next weeks. Due to the coronavirus, it has been postponed, but it should start with the next presidency, Portuguese presidency, that we hope in February, March. And of course, the goal of the inspirators of this conference, Mr. Macron, was not really the one to go on the way of a union of free nations, but it's an excellent platform, excellent opportunities for all and for us to build on a new way, a new proposals for the future of Europe, which should be not the one of a federalist. Because we see, and Dr. Laurent explained it very clearly, that it has no perspective. Not the centralism one destroying the identity and not respecting the European values, of course not. And we saw that the ultraliberal way, of the British has already gone and left the European project. I will just mention this division of Europe in four. So the UK has left. We have a country of the South who suffer a lot and want more European solidarity. You have the country of the North who had better wealth, survived better the pandemic. And you have your countries, Central and Eastern Europe, which are hurted by the centralization, by the attacks, were mentioned very rightly by our Polish colleague. I totally support him, totally support. I cannot understand why bureaucrats from Brussels can decide from Brussels what is right and what is wrong in the development of a society of one country. It's not their matter. Their matter is to strengthen the cooperation among us, not to interfere in our daily life. I think in this conference of the future of Europe, there is three main topics, which is important in my view to work on. If you look at the program of this conference, these topics are not really presented because they put in the agenda of this conference everything which is the idea to do more Europe and more European integration. But in this conference agenda. There's also a point where we say it's open to any other topic. So it's really possible to put, if we have a broad, and I will come back at the end of my intervention, if we have a broad support to bring these ideas, and we accept or not, but in the fact to present for the public audience, for the public opinion, European public opinion, a new alternative for the future of Europe. The first item is, you mentioned that, and Dr. Chemade mentioned that very clearly, with other values, the European values. Today, we have switched from European values, with the values of the founder fathers, to global world values. And the European values have disappeared. As you mentioned, the Christian roots of Europe have disappeared. Our history, our common identity, what has made the European civilization, our cultures coming from ancient Greek to the modern time, this has disappeared and are replaced by, I will say, globalized values. And we have to come back to truly European values, where, as mentioned, all the European citizens, majority of them, should recognize themselves. And this has to be done, and I will be very happy to work with you on that, because this is, it was very clearly expressed by Dr. Laurent previously. The second point, the second main topic, is the topic of subsidiarity. What the European Union should do, what the European Union should not do, what should be left at national level or sometimes local level. And today we have a total mix where we say that the European Union is interfering in the daily life about the way the farmers are making their work, the way we produce mineral water or whatever. But we are not concentrated on main issues where we could be stronger together. We saw during the epidemic, during the crisis, but concerning health, the fact that to have reserve of medicaments, the fact to have task force to be able to act very quickly in urgency matters, we were totally, the European Union totally disappeared. The European was absent. When Italy, and I'm happy that there is an Italian colleague there, the first to intervene to support Italians were the Chinese, the Cubans, the Russians and others, but not Brussels, because Brussels is not there where the citizens need them to be. So we have really to redefine the role and the topics. In my view, the question of environment, the question of security toward the Islamic terror, which is threatening us, you see, these days, from France, from Nice, Paris to Vienna, but this Islamic terror is really, there is really an aggression against the European values and against Europe. There is a threat of a religious war against the Christianity, and we have to be ready for that. What is the European doing for that? These are really the issues that the European Union should tackle. And the third topic is, of course, the governance. And today, when we see the governance of the European Union, we see really there is no democracy. There is no real power for the member states, because with this vote with the majority system, small countries can be left over, and their voice cannot be listened. I will just remind that at the beginning of the European Union, each country, whichever was its size, has its place and has the possibility to be listened. Today, it's not possible. We have majorities, it's moving, the European Commission is manipulating. The European Commission also, with the legislation concerning the single market, I will just warn you on something, has the capacity with what they call delegate act to interfere in our daily life without any control. We had this year, 2020, the Council adopted a regulation which is called taxonomy. It doesn't mean nothing for anybody, but that has very, very important consequence. This means that for the so-called Green Deal, and we are all ecologists. We all recognize this necessity. But yes, but for this perspective, the European Commission has the possibility to act about to decide which activity is sustainable, which is not, interfere to the level of a small business, of a handicraft, without any control. It's the Commission, the bureaucrats of Brussels will decide. So we have really to change the governance, to reinforce the European Parliament, to reinforce the decision of the Council, to limit the Commission to a very executive but under political control, and to give more space for citizens' initiative and for the weight of citizens, of civil society organizations. My last word will be that this conference for the future of Europe present for us, offers for us, for EuCET and for others who want this this union of three nations, to present a more elaborate platform. Because this other option, this kind of option of a confederation based on real European Christian values with a better governance, this option has for the time not be enough developed, not be enough structured. And without, I just finished, without a real radical change, European Union will go to its death. So we are the only one, this option is the only one which is possible, which is able to save Europe. Thank you very much.